Hey guys, it's Justin Basil. We're going to go ahead and take a quick look at the new cards revealed from Time Gazer and Space Juggler, which will become part of Astral Radiance in May. Now, it's important before we get too far into this, some of these cards may be cut for our August set, so keep that in mind, but a good chunk of these will end up in Astral Radiance. Without further ado, let's get started. First we have Rowlet, who gets lots of love in the TCG. Jump on 10 damage, flip a coin if it has 10 more, so but it's Rowlet. Dartrix, 30 damage, Sharp Wing, 60. It evolves as stage 1, that's fine. Cyndaquil, Energy Charge. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I mean, there are worse starting attacks, but that's not great. Quilava, 2040, pretty basic. That's not right, guys. That needs to be fixed. Alright, nope, self. Wow, they are having all sorts of fun. I think Water Pokemon Master's having fun with us. Oshawott, beat 10 damage. Do what? These are definitely evolving Pokemon so far. Pretty much nothing to write home about. Origin Palkia V. This is actually Origin Form Palkia V, we know now, based on the official reveal of Astral Radiance. Domain Ruler, search your deck for a stadium card, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. That's an interesting attack. We don't have a specific stadium that we really want for Palkia just yet, but I feel like there's going to be a good stadium that we want for Palkia, and that's probably going to be whatever it is. It's going to be in the set that they just haven't revealed just yet. So, attack doesn't look great right off from the outset, but I think it's important to keep it in mind for the future. Hydro Break 200, that's, again, nothing to write home about, but I mean, it's an evolving V, so that's not too bad. Alrighty, Origin Form Palkia V-Star. That's double water spatial swell. So 60 plus damage. This attack does 20 more damage for each benched Pokemon. That's nuts. So this is like a boosted Suicune, right? So Suicune does basically the same thing, but with a lower base damage. So you're doing, in fact, let's just pull the card up so you can get a little bit of a reference right here. Okay. So Blizzard Run was 20 plus for each bench Pokemon. So 20 plus, up to 200. So 220 is what you're capping out before any boosts. And this starts out at 260 before boosts. The Choice Bucket's to 290. That's pretty freaking fantastic. And there's a good chance you're running this with the Inteleon engine anyway. So you have those pings from the Inteleon from Chilling Reign to get the little extra damage you might need for the higher HP, bulkier Pokemon. This looks to be really good, especially in the standard format. I think this is going to be fantastic. Will it be like the indisputable best second format? Probably not. It's probably not going to be another Mew, I hope. But it's definitely going to be good. This is going to be a great deck. Ability Star Portal. This is its V-Star power, so you can only use one of these per game. Once during your turn, you may use this ability. Attach up to 3 water energy from your discard pile to your water Pokemon any way you like. Now that's bonkers, because you can Capacious Bucket for 2, discard it with Ultra Ball or Quick Ball, or Research or whatever you really need. You have it there, use it, and this does not end your turn. This is an ability. So even after doing this, you can just have it in play. So you can go from having a Origin Form Palkia that had to, say your first one got knocked out, right? You evolve it, use Star Portal, immediately have it powered up, ready to go, ready to attack, and just start mashing into your opponent's Pokemon. This card is amazing. I can't wait to test this one myself. This one's going to be super fun to play. Very looking forward to it. Hisuian Typhlosion, ability Spectral Ball. Once during your turn, you may discard a Psychic Energy card from your hand. If you do, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned and confused. Shadowbind 90, the defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. Unfortunately, this card very much looks like it's going to just be bulk. It's a stage 2 to apply a couple of stage conditions that aren't that great for a very specific effect cost. Unfortunately, this doesn't look that good. Cranidos evolves into Rampardos, Flying Head 60, Jurassic Hammer 240 if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards in their hand. This attack does nothing. Sorry, 3 or fewer cards in their hand, not prize cards. I've been doing too much Ultra Beast stuff lately. Okay, if your opponent has 3 or fewer cards in their hand, this attack does nothing. So that's really good, but this has to evolve from a fossil Mysterious Fossil, which I believe has also been revealed here. Yes, Mysterious Fossil, or Unidentified Fossil, sorry. So this is a reprint of the card from Ultra Prism. That's great and all, but there's not really any good way to search for it just yet. So unless they print some card that can specifically search for those fossils, I don't see this card being very good. If they do print something for it, however, this could be very interesting. It's not very often that your opponent's going to always like have small hands like that. They're always going to have like 4 or 5 cards typically. And even if they're trying to force their hand size down to play around this, they're going to be hurting themselves pretty badly. They're discarding their resources, or they're not drawing cards they could draw that would help them out and get ahead of you. So very interesting. It probably has to have a partner to do as well as it needs to do. Interestingly, this could also be played with Zoroark from Evolving Skies. So you just get around the need to have the fossils entirely. Although you could always still rare candy them. I don't know. I like the card and I want to see play, but we'll see. We will see. Hisuian Decidueye, Cutting Talon. So that's a no-cost attack, that little period. 30 times damage. This attack does 30 damage. This attack does 30 damage times the number of damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. You get all these pings on there, and then times 3, basically. And that's the damage you're doing. For a no-cost attack, that's pretty good. It is a stage 2, however. So I don't like that. This would be really good as like a basic. I mean, because okay, so we're talking about cards we already have, right? We have Basculin, which does something similar. Rather, that's this, right? So obviously it's a 10 multiplier. Then we have Farfetch'd, which is also something similar. Same ramp. So this is the Decidueye has a much faster ramp, and it is a free attack. But you're going to burn so many resources getting to at the stage 2 that it probably isn't going to be worth it. And what's worse is this doesn't really have any deck that you like instantly want to play it in. Like the only other Decidueye in the format right now is the one from Darkness Ablaze, right? Decidueye. So, I mean, yes, you could pile on damage with Splitting Arrow and then take knockouts with it. I just don't know that it's worth it. You know, throw Telescopic Sight on there, use Cutting Talon to take knockouts. I mean, then you lose your Deep Forest Camo and you're down 1 Decidueye in the first place because you're playing this one instead of the other one. Because deck space wise, I mean, technically you could play 4 of the other one in this one because it's a Hisuian Decidueye. But then, again, that's deck space you could be using to other cards for consistency. I don't love it. Another one of those cards I'd like to love, but I don't. Direct Arrow for Fighting Double Colorless. This attack does 80 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Don't apply weakness resistance. It's just not enough as a stage 2. Yes, the snipe is nice. The attack cost is not pleasant. Hisuian Samurott ability Tricky Stance. Once during your turn, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards. So this is a reprint of a Swampert. That ability is a reprint of a Swampert from Celestial Storm. It was a really cool card that saw play in like one deck. In fact, I actually just got done doing a page on next week's live stream for... Oh, and that's not loading in. That's cool. Well, we'll have to look at that later. That is up, so that'll be available shortly for you guys to look at. But the deck involved was the Zoroark. Gardevoir Swampert Ninetales. So basically, it was able to draw through its cards using Swampert's ability and was able to use triple acceleration energy to take knockouts with Hydro Pump. In this case, Hisuian Samurott has Dark Prison, which does 60 plus the damage on all of your Pokemon, so 20 for each energy. But it's a dark double color, so you can't just splash this into something else. That, and it's a stage 2, so in this current format, that multiple stage 2 thing really isn't going to work. It's just the format's too fast. I do like the draw effect, and maybe that will see play, but definitely not as an attacker. I think for the most part, you'd just rather play either Lipard or Chinchino or really Bibarel. Bibarel is just extremely good draw effect. Magnemite, Magnet Cat, switch this card for up to 3 metal energy cards, show them to your opponent, and shuffle them into your deck. Ball attack, 30 damage. It's an evolving Pokemon. Magneton, bounce back, 50 switch. Yep, evolving. Magnezone, Giga Magnet. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 6 cards of your deck. Choose any number of metal energy you find there and attach those energy to your Pokemon any way you like, then shuffle your remaining cards into your deck. So this is exactly the Blastoise from Team Up, except for metal energy. That saw some play as an accelerator, but not a ton. And it is a stage 2. So if we're really, really desperate for metal acceleration, and we might be, let's see, then yeah, maybe this will see some play. I, again, don't love it because you do have to run quite a few energy to hit the energy consistently for Giga Magnet. So realistically, you're attaching 1, maybe 2 energy off of each Giga Magnet, and then you have to set up multiple Magnezone to get a decent number of energy in play each turn. I don't know. We had Rain Dance Magnezone in, I think it was Ultra Prism, that was just splash all the metal energy you have in your hand down wherever you want, and even that saw limited play. I mean, it did see play, don't get me wrong, but it was still fairly limited. I want to love Magnezone. Magneton is one of my favorite Pokemon, and I love its line in general, but I just don't. Maybe if the format slows down, this will be great. In our current format, it's just too fast. Shieldon, Hard-Headed Putt, Confront. No. Ancient Stronghold. Each of your Pokemon takes 30 less damage from the attacks of your Pokemon V. So this is a damage reducer, which might make it harder for some stuff to get knocked out, but this is also at stage 2. I hate to say this, but stage 2s are just not very good. A 30 damage reduction is really nice, though. Just trying to think of where that would really matter. Because basically all you're doing is negating a choice belt. Unless your main attacker is a single prizer, in which case you're probably going to get squished by whatever it is anyway. I don't know. Mastodon doesn't feel super great to me. Maybe somebody will build something around it and prove me wrong, but I just... yeah. Origin Dialga V. Metal Coat. Attach up to 2 metal energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Halt time 180. A really high metal cost. They really want you to use that Magnezone. Origin Form Dialga V-Star. Metal Blast, 40 plus damage, so 40 plus. This deck does 40 more damage for each metal energy attached to this Pokemon. Again, they really want you to pile on that metal energy with Magnezone. So let's look at breakpoints. To get, I wish I had Excel open. 40. Basically need 5 energy down. 5 times 40 is 240. Okay, so 240 damage with 5 energy. To take out V's, that's quite a lot for a V knockout. If you have 5, though, you could just use Chrono Star. Get 220 if you have a choice belt. That's fine. You do have access to Metal Saucer, so that's good. Just trying to think of how this would work in Standard. This would be busted and expanded. There's so much you could do to make this go off and expanded. This will be one of those decks that's really fun to play, but may not be very competitive in Standard. But it may also be one of those decks where people underestimate it because of how hard it is to set up. But somebody will figure out how to make it set up, and it'll just go off. Maybe it's Magnezone, maybe it's just Metal Saucers, maybe it's both. And honestly, both would probably be ideal. But then again, you're running a stage 2 line and effectively a stage 1 line with a V-Star. You do have fairly decent HP. I don't know. That extra turn's really good though, because that could be a knockout and another knockout, and That might even be game by itself. As long as you can keep Dialga alive, that's great. And if you can deal with if you can set it up with Chronostar, then Dialga stays alive, right? So maybe. Maybe. You just gotta make stage 2's great again. Unidentified Fossil I mentioned before is a reprint from Ultra Prism. So cool. Irida. Search your deck for a water type Pokemon and an item card. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this is Karina, but as a water type supporter. So Karina was exactly the same thing, but it was a fighting Pokemon and item card. This is water type Pokemon and item card. So it saw play back in its day. This will probably see play as like a one of an Inteleon builds, just because you can grab yourself a Drizzile or something, and then an item card. It's good. However, it's going to have limited play just because this will come out only a few months before rotation happens. This is May, so the 5th month of the year. Rotation will most likely be August or September. So 3 to 4 months this will be in play before we see it rotate. Before we see Drizzile rotate. I like it. We'll see how much play it actually sees. Adamant, discard 2 metal energy cards from your hand. If you do, search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this is a good effect for control. I could see this being used in Metagross. Metagross maybe wants to play some metal energies just to discard and search. Let's look at Metagross VMAX real quick just to have it as a reference. So Zap Attraction, so 2 cards, put them in your hand. You can also get a little extra with Adamant, so as an option to grab more. So maybe you have to take a turn off from attacking to get those 2 cards. You can get them with Adamant instead. I like it for control. However, that said, this is just a metal type version of Crasher Wake, and Crasher Wake saw pretty limited play. It did see a little bit of play. Again, all these cards, a little bit of play, but probably not enough to write home about. So if Metagross, if this can make Metagross better, cool. As a control archetype, obviously. I don't know how much play it's going to see elsewhere. It would put metal energies in the discard pile for Dialga. Use Metal Saucers. Although again, Metal Saucer will rotate at the same time as that Drizzile. So these will only be in play with Metal Saucer, or in the standard format together with Metal Saucer for like 4 or 5 months. That is something to be aware of now. That 4 or 5 months can be a lot of fun, but it's something to be aware of. Okay, so that's the first chunk of cards. Then they revealed Eevee, Leafeon, and Glaceon. Eevee has an ability called Sympathetic Evolution. Once during your turn, when you play a card from your hand to evolve one of your other Eevee, you may search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and play it onto this Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. So this is like it's almost like a chain reaction Eevee effect. So that's cool. But we need some Pokemon that evolve from Eevee that are actually great. We have the ability lock Eevees from Vivid Voltage that are decent. But again, you have to have that memory capsule in order to actually take advantage of their ability lock ability. But these Leafeon and Glaceon are not good. Leafeon, Energy Guard, and search deck for up to 3 different types of basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. This is basically a much worse version of Arceus' effect. They have to be different types. This is a stage 1 instead of a basic. Not great. Glaceon, Frost Veil, 30 damage for all effects done by evolution Pokemon during next turn. We still have a lot of basic Pokemon doing stuff in the format right now. You have Suicune, you have Entei, you have pretty much everything in the dark box, whether that's Moltres or Hoopa. There's way too much basic stuff for this to be any good right now. So unfortunately, that's going to be a dud too. So Eevee could be interesting. Maybe in Scarlet and Violet base set, we go back toward a more GX style of evolution, where maybe there'll be like a new Eevee evolution GX, where it's Leafeon GX 2.0 or something, and that'll be decent. If something like that comes around, then absolutely this Eevee would be worth playing. As it stands now, it's a wait and see. And then these two are just bulk. Hisuian Level Ball. Look at your face down prize cards. You may reveal a basic Pokemon you find there and put it into your hand. Then shuffle this Hisuian Heavy Ball into your remaining prize cards and put them back face down. If you don't reveal a basic Pokemon, put this card in the discard pile. This is super good. This effect is strong enough to honestly be a supporter card. So at first glance, you may think, well, that's terrible. Why would I want that? It's not a card that will be in every deck, but it'll be in decks that really want it. This is the card that you use to chase out your Radiant Pokemon, whether that's Radiant Hawlucha or Radiant Greninja or even Radiant Heatran. This is the card you use to chase out your Durants in Durant. This is the card you use to chase out your Genesects in Mew. This is a very good card. It's not going to be more than a 1 or 2 of in basically any deck. But for the decks that want it, it's gold. This is pure gold. Again, not every deck will play it, but this is extremely good. This is a very, very good card. I'm excited for it in Durant, because I love to play Durant, and I am a degenerate mill player, but this is super, super fun. This is a great card. I'm glad to see this around. It's also great, too, because you just look at your prize cards. So you get a free check, too, right? You know what the other 5 cards are going to be. You just put the Hisuian Heavy Ball in there, so you get that extra double check, that satisfaction of knowing, yes, these are my prize cards, and you're not just relying on the deck search. So I love it. Absolutely one of my favorite cards revealed so far. That and the Palkia. Politoed and Poliwrath. Woohoo! Alright, let's start with Poliwag because bulk first. Bounce back, 10 flip a coin, prevent all effects. So this is basically agility, right? You get the immunity for a turn if you get heads. Although, Mew just cuts right through that immunity, so what does it matter? Poliwhirl, beat 30, double smash, flip 2 coins, 50 for each heads, bad. Poliwrath, spinning punch, 60 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Not great damage. Water, double colors, 160. Return to energy. That's not too bad, but this is a stage 2. Politoed. Been a while since we've seen a Politoed. I want to say Guardians Rising. Yes, it's been Guardians Rising. It's been quite a while. Well, hello, Politoed. King's Dance, 10 plus damage. If Poliwag is on your bench, this attack does 60 more damage. If Poliwhirl is on your bench, this attack does 90 more damage. If Poliwrath is on your bench, this attack does 120 more damage. So this is I put this in here in the article, I forgot. Reuniclus from Fate's Guide, exactly the same sort of effect. So basically these effects stack on each other. These extra damages will stack. So if you have, it's not one or the others or whatever, it's all of them. So if you have a Poliwag, a Poliwhirl, and a Poliwrath on your bench, you're going to be doing the 120, the 90, the 60, and the 10 base, right? So that's 100, 160, 280 before modifier. So that's 280 plus the choice belt would be 310. It's not off, but it's a lot of setup, especially because this is a stage 2. And that extra 120 requires another stage 2 in play in order to set up. So it's a bit rough. It'll be a fun deck for people to get like some extra fun wins on PTCGO or PTCGL. But I don't know that I see this as being an especially competitive card. But it will be a fun card. And it's nice to see Politoed back in the game. Alright, so those are the cards that we've seen so far. The only thing I want to hit up before we wrap up today is the pre-release promos from Astral Radiance. We have seen them. They've been revealed. We know for certain that they are Magnezone, Wordier, Hisuian Basculegion, and Hisuian Samurai. So in pre-release, I think your best combination is probably going to be something that's not Hisuian Samurai. Maybe that's Wordier and Magnezone. Depends on what cards come with each of these. Of course, when the time comes, I'll be breaking them down, and that will be on the Appendix 5 in the deck building guide. But for right now, we don't know what comes with these guys. So maybe that, for sure, Wordier's effect, Hurried Gate in pre-release format is at draw 1 for a stage 1 evolution. That's pretty good. Hisuian Basculegion's Grudge something, can't quite see the full effect name or attack name in English. It's basically a revenge attack, 120 damage. Ultimately, if one of your Pokemon were knocked out last turn, that's a bit rough in pre-release format because there's only 4 prize cards, so you're not going to be getting that off very often. So you kind of have to hope that whatever else is in that kit helps you out in that respect. And then Magnezone, This is stage 2. Pre-release are a little slower, so it's probably fine. But you are going to be running heavier counts of energy in pre-release, which is good. So you're more likely to hit those metal energy. And then, of course, you can also just power up Wordier. I like it. Magnezone Wordier is probably my preferred combination. I think I'd like the Magnezone promo just because, again, Magneton is one of my favorite Pokemon. Magneton's part of that evolution line. So yeah, but these are interesting promos. I don't know if these are the cards I would have picked, but then again, we also don't know all the cards from S10 just yet. We've only seen maybe a third of them so far. We should look forward to the full reveal of the set come the 31st of this month, I believe. That's because it's the Thursday prior to the actual release of the set. So yes, that'll be the Thursday prior. We'll have the complete reveal of the set, and look forward to a full review of Time Gazer and Space Juggler then. For now, guys, stay safe. Thank you for watching. Like if you liked the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.